All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Algebra, Chapter 2, Lesson 6, or 2.6, Evaluating Variable Expressions. Today is a very simple day. All we're going to be doing is substituting numbers for letters and back and forth. So let me explain. When we are in algebra, we're going to get equations or expressions that have letters in them called variables. And they can stand for any number in the world, right? For example, if I told you a squared plus 3 equals something, and I told you that the a is worth 4, well then what does a squared plus 3 equal? Well, it's a very simple thing. All you need to do is replace this a with the value of 4. So instead of a squared, I'm going to have 4 squared plus 3. And that was a system called substitution. Say that with me now. Substitution. Substitution, right? Just like a substitute in the classroom, when your teacher's out, let's say I'm out of class and we have somebody else step in, that's literally called substitution. That's why they're called a substitute. They are to replace the original. And in this case, what we did is we replaced the a, the variable, with 4, the value of the variable. And who told us what the variable value was? Well, usually the book or the test or I, Mr. Thomas, will tell you this is what a is worth. Sometimes you have to solve for it, but this time we're going to tell you what it's worth. So now you do 4 squared, and 4 squared is simply 4 times 4 plus 3. And you simply do PEMDAS, parentheses, exponent. Well, we have parentheses, and in the parentheses is 4 times 4. That's 16. The only next thing we can do is 16 plus 3. 16 plus 3 is 19. The answer is 19. A squared plus 3 equals 19 when a is 4. Now, if I told you a was worth, I don't know, say 5, we'd get a different answer. If I replace this 4 with a 5, I would substitute the 5 for a. 5 squared is 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 3 is 28. The new answer would be 28. And that's basically it. That's all substitution is. So they're going to tell you what the variable is, and they're going to tell you which variable to switch out, and you just flip it out, switch it, substitute it, and then solve. Substitute and solve. That's your key for today. Substitute and solve. Write that down because that's a key. That's a major key to success today. Substitute and solve. Let's try another one. What is the value of 3x when x is -2? Okay, what is the value of 3x when x is -2? Well, all I do is I simply rewrite 3x. Then I substitute what my x is worth, and my x is worth 2. So 3 multiplied by -2. And then I simply solve. 3 parentheses -2 is the same thing as saying 3 times -2. 3 times -2 is the same thing as saying -6. There you go. 3x is -6 when x is -2. Let's try another one. Evaluate, now we're going to start using the language. Evaluate 2b minus c when b, let me write it in color, when b is 3 and c is -4. All right, so what do I have here? I've got my equation. I just need to substitute in the numbers for the letters. So b is 3, so let me replace the b with a 3, or substitute. 2b minus c, or substitute the b for 3, substitute the c, I keep the negative sign where it is, and I replace c with -4. That's a very big deal. That's a very, very important thing. It's not 4 in there, it's -4, okay? It's minus the c, and the c is -4, so it's minus -4. Then I evaluate. PEMDAS, parentheses, I got 2 and 3, which is 2 times 3. I've got negative, I've got -4. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus -4, you know how to do that. That's really 6 plus 4. 2 negatives is a positive, or a double negative is a positive, rather. 6 plus 4 is 10. Ooh, sorry, the computer screen hasn't come in yet. 1 second. There it is. 6 plus 4, because 2 negatives is a positive, and then you get 6 plus 4, which is 10. All I did, again, is substitute the b for 3. Because they're hugging each other, it's a multiplication problem, 2 times 3. 2 times 3 minus c. c is -4, it's not 4, it's -4. So the opposite of a negative is a positive, so 6 plus 4 is 10. There you go. Let's try another one. We are going to try, a division problem is coming up next. Very exciting. So let's try a division problem. Here we go. Evaluate 6a over, I'm going to write a different a, sorry. 6a, or 6 times a, 6 a's over 4 when a is 2, when a is -2. There is no other variable, so we can get rid of that. So here's another way I can solve this. If I know that this is 6 a's in the numerator, I could say, look, it's 6 a's, right? So it's 1 plus 1 plus, that's 3 a's, 4 a's, 5 a's, 6 a's, right? Over 4. And then I use substitution to replace all my a's with -2. So it's going to be 6 -2's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over 4, right? I'm just rewriting the problem again and again. All right, so what is -2 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2? -2 and -2 is -4. -2 and -2 is -4. This -2 and this -2 is -4. So that's 3 -4s. So I can write it like this: -4 minus 4 minus 4, all over 4. -4 minus 4 is -8. -8 minus this 4 is -12. So I've got -12 divided by 4. Okay, and what is -12 divided by 4? Well, what's 12 divided by 4? 12 divided by 4 is 3, so it's -3. Your answer is -3. Now, the simpler way to do this would have just literally been to do this. 6 times a, which is -2, over 4. 6 times -2 is -12. -12 divided by 4 is -3. You still get the same answer. I just wanted to show you what really is going on when you do variables with like coefficients like 6a, right? 6a, so you have to replace every a. And this is why we use multiplication, because it's faster, right? All right, so there's that. Let's try another one. Oh, here's a simple one. What is, or evaluate, 3x squared, ooh, a square, minus y when x is equal to 2 and y is equal to -4. Ooh, here's the deadly negative again. All right, so it's simple. All I simply do is replace the x and the y. So the x is really a 2. So I put a 2 in its place and then a square because it's an x squared, so it's a 2 squared now. And the y is really a -4. So I replace y with -4. Notice that I kept the negative. It's a -4, it's not a +4. So now we evaluate according to PEMDAS, right? All right, parentheses. Do I have parentheses? Yes, I do. Inside my parentheses is a 2 squared, right? So 2 squared is really 2 times 2 times 3 minus -4. All right, let's evaluate what's inside the parentheses. 2 times 2 is 4. Close the parentheses. Multiplied by 3 minus -4. So I did parentheses and I did exponents. Let's do multiplication next. 3 times 4 is 12. Because remember, if it's a parentheses hugging, it's a multiplication problem. So I've got 12 here. 12 minus -4. I've got another double negative, right? So a double negative becomes a positive. So it's 12 plus 4. And 12 plus 4 is 16. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's your answer. 3x squared minus y is 16 when x is equal to 2 and y is equal to -4. So that's basically it. You were substituting. Use PEMDAS. Don't forget about your parentheses. Don't forget about your exponents. And then solve. And that's it. All right, hopefully this was helpful. We will see you in the next video.